Hello, welcome again to Ask Papa Bear 2.0. I'm Papa Bear Grubs Grizzly, and this is the YouTube version of the AskPapaBear.com advice column for furries. Today in Ask Papa Bear, we're going to focus some on books and writing, and we're going to start with a segment on I will be calling Papa Bear Recommends. And today we are going to start with a book called from the Fur Science team. It's called Fur Science, A Decade of Psychological Research on the Furry Fandom, which is exactly what it is. This book actually came out in 2023, but I only found out about it a few months ago. So I thought I would talk about it because I didn't know about it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who don't know about it. You can get this book on their website. You can also, I believe, get it on Amazon. You can get the paperback. It costs, I don't know, $20, $30 or whatever it is. But you can also get the ebook version, and they offer it for free on the Fur Science website. I will give you a link below, and you can click on that and get your free ebook copy, which I do recommend, not because it's free so much, although that's nice, but because the main reason is this book, 750 pages, and it was so long that they decided not to put an index in it because it was already getting so big. So if you want to search on something, it's much easier to do in the electronic format. Anyway, this book is done by the Fur Science team, and it is a collection of, as it says, 10 years of research. So this is their research papers all put into one book, and they did some rewrites on it to make it a little more palatable to non-academic audiences, although there is quite a bit of things, material in here about things like their methodologies and methods and all that sort of thing. And you can just peruse it to see what you want. I recommend it because it's a fabulous book to, if you have questions on the demographics of the fandom, why people become furries, the different aspects of the furry fandom, a bit of the psychology behind it. This is done by psychologists and sociologists. And it's just a fascinating book. It's good research material for anybody who's, really seriously into that. But it's also good for casual readers. If you ever find yourself at a loss to kind of argue with people who are non-furries, that we're not just in it for, fur porn or something like that. This is a good book to show them what it's really all about. So that's it. I will offer a link below that you can go to and get your free copy and download that. It's well worth it. Obviously, if it's free, it's definitely worth it. But it's worth more than that. That's why I got a hard copy. I just like holding a hard copy. But I think I will also get a electronic version of it so I can search on things more easily. That's today's recommendation. And so the next segment, we'll go through our inbox and we'll read a letter from a furry writer who's having a little trouble gauging how he should handle the content of his book. That's next on Ask Papa Bear. Welcome back. And we're now at the letter reading portion of Ask Papa Bear. And today's letter is, from a fellow named Steve. And he is asking about some advice about writing his fiction. Steve writes, Ask Papa Bear, Dear Papa Bear, I've been working on this gay furry romance comment, which I've decided to throw myself into finishing. The script is written, and I've completed 22 pages so far. I'm fairly confident in my writing, but my story turned out to be heavier than when I first started. It touches on themes like addiction, creative burnout, grief, and mortality. Throughout this project, I occasionally remember the characters are anthropomorphic animals, and I wonder, is this too silly? It's not the whole. It's not like the whole comic is heavy. There are moments of comic relief here and there. I just worry that the whole furry aesthetic would undermine those themes. Am I overthinking this? Second, my story has a few sex scenes in it, but they are not the main focus of the story and are used to show the bond of the two main characters. However, I'm conflicted on how much I should actually show. So I'm not opposed to romance comics having explicit sex scenes. I just worry people will only read the comic for those scenes. Should I make it softcore or just go out and show everything? In short, do furry characters undermine the story with more serious themes? Also, how much sexual explicitness is appropriate for this kind of story? Cheers, Steve. Okay, so good, good question. I'm actually fairly qualified to answer this, having written fiction before, and I'm familiar with furry fiction, of course. So I wrote back, "Dear Steve, what a great question. There's absolutely nothing wrong with a comic or graphic novel that is furry and has mature themes. In a very real way, this is why the furry fandom was founded in the first place. A lot of adults, college age mostly at the time, wanted to take the funny animal tradition and make it more for adults, which gave rise to such things as albedo anthropomorphics, associated student bodies, the Usagi Chronicles, Cerebus the Aardvark, Black Sad, and Omaha the Cat Dancer. Not to mention the non-furry Art Spiegelman's Pulitzer-winning Mouse. So, you are on a very solid ground here. If you are unfamiliar with any of these, I would suggest you look them up and read. Some of these, especially Omaha and ASB, Associated Student Bodies, have some pretty kinky scenes, and you can bet that a lot of people bought them just for those. But a lot of people bought them because they are good stories with well-rounded and interesting characters. ASB deals with some serious themes too, such as one of the main characters being HIV positive. When you are aiming for an adult audience, it is legit to address topics that include violence, drugs, racism, political corruption, sex, and more. It is fine to have sex scenes in your story, especially if it is sex with a purpose. Do you know what the difference is between mature sex scenes and porn? Porn only has one purpose, to get you off. Story and characterization are superfluous to porn, but a sex scene can be used in serious literature to advance the story and motivate characters. So when you draw these scenes, consider whether what you are drawing contributes to your tale, or if you're just doing it to get someone to buy the comic so they can pleasure themselves. When you answer that question honestly, you will know how to draw it. The same is true with other elements in your story, not just sex. Do the comical scenes serve a function? Or are you just doing something idiotic like putting Jar Jar Binks in the story for slapstick comedy? Is the violence gratuitous for shock value? Or are you making a point for the reader? I'm a big fan of subtlety myself. A master writer, artist, and filmmaker can do wonders with suggestion. That's why Alfred Hitchcock was so brilliant. He could do more with a creaky door slowly opening in a hallway than M. Night Shyamalan could do with buckets of blood and freaky CGI on a big studio budget. This leads me to another element of your question. Why do people write stories with furries in them instead of human beings? One big reason is that they serve as tropes to quickly express what a character is all about. If you want a clever character, it's a fox. Loyal and true, dog. Selfish and sucksy, cat. Scary, fierce, dragon. a brave leader, lion, meek but honest, a mouse, and so on. It's quick characterization and a suit of fur. Furry characters can also be used as symbolic in expressing a theme. For example, there was an issue of Black Sad about racism in which animals such as polar bears and Arctic foxes and ermines represented white people, obviously, and animals with black fur were, of course, representing blacks. The hero has both white and black fur as he is from a mixed lineage. Here, you can get the clear message and yet avoid stereotypes that are often assigned to people of certain races. A technique that Disney grossly failed at when creating such things as the Siamese cat character and the Aristocats, pardon my mispronunciation. And of course, anthros are often seen in fantasy and sci-fi tales simply to create interesting and exotic characters for the reader. However, a skilled author can use them with a purpose. So, when you create your furry characters, do so with purpose. Don't just make your hero, say, a husky because you like huskies. Perhaps make them a hippo with something to prove because they never got over being teased for being heavy when they were in public school. Or maybe they're a homely lizard with a heart of gold. Use the physical form to complement the spirit of your hero or heroine and all the supporting characters in your cast. Good luck with that. Good luck with your story. Happy writing, Papabear. So, what do you think of my response? What do you think about furry characters in the fandom and fiction? Furry writing used to be extremely important in the early fandom. Now it's been kind of overwhelmed by art, which is fine. There's still a lot of furry writers out there, of course, but it's not as much of a focus as it used to be. There's lots of people writing fan fiction on different TV series and such. Yeah, but furry novels and furry short stories have kind of waned a little bit in favor of other things, ranging from fursuits to fiction to art to online socializing. But I think it's still important, and we still have awards for that. We have the Coyote Awards. We have the Ursa Major Awards. So those are still going on. So, are you a furry writer? What do you think about what I said? What do you have to add? Give me a shout out in the comments below. And if you like this video so far, please press like, maybe subscribe, and I appreciate you coming. There's more to come. It's a return of Papabear right after this. Welcome back, everyone, and we're back with another Papabear segment. Bum, bum, bum. Papabear. Okay. Last time, Papabear asked, or he said, if you want to find the honey, follow the bees. Now, what did he mean by that? I asked people to comment below, and nobody did. That's okay. Papabear will explain. It's simply a metaphor for mindfulness that the bees, of course, they create their honey by finding pollen. They do not destroy the flowers to find the pollen. They live totally together with nature to create their pollen, to create their honey, to find their food without destroying things. And that is basically what I meant here. It is possible for people, as well as bees, to reach their goals without destroying nature, without hurting each other. There's no need for war. There's no need for cutting down forests or damming up rivers. There's no need to, make species extinct. We can have all we need: food, shelter, clothes, everything, without harming anything. So Same goes for achieving all kinds of other goals in life. When you want to achieve a goal, think about what you're doing to achieve it. Are you hurting anybody? Are you stepping over people? Are you pushing people out of your way? Keep that in mind. We can do great things together. I'll refer to the furry community. We can do great things together in the furry community without fighting each other. We can achieve our goals of finding friendship and doing fun, creative things together without doing any harm. And that's all that Papabear meant by following the bees. Tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but next segment, Papabear poses that life is very much like a river. And we are all very much like a river. So the common metaphor used in Buddhism. What do you think Papabear meant by that? You can write in the comments below. That's all for today. Stay furry, my friends. Thank you for stopping by. Like and subscribe if you like the video, and there'll be more and possibly different segments in our next episode. But for now, I'm waving bye-bye. Take care.